4 months ago, I did something that I never thought would be possible, and I bought my dream supercar, this Aston Martin Vantage. But what's it been like owning this car, and was it worth it? I honestly cannot find a single fault with this car. I just appreciate it more than the world and love it. I mean, listen to it. Oh, those pops. Let's go this way. The power is just unreal as well. I love this car, and after 4 months it still feels absolutely incredible, and if this wasn't a POV view you would see the gigantic smile on my face right now. So lots has happened in the first 4 months of owning this car. It's been back to Aston Martin for its first service, which was free because all brand new Aston Martin Vantages get 5 years of free servicing. And I've also had to make my first warranty claim. This black grille here is actually brand new. For some reason, the original one started to degrade and it was looking a slight bit rusty. So I showed it to Aston Martin and they were great, and they just replaced the entire grille under warranty. I've also made my first modification to the car. You may notice something different from the side view here. If you haven't noticed, what we've done is we've swapped out the silver trim here around the windows, which I think makes the car look much meaner and much more aggressive. I just love it all blacked out. Oh, and if you follow my channel, you also know we found a huge screw lodged in the front tyre. So if you're curious how much it costs for Aston Martin to replace a tyre on a Vantage, you can check out the video at the end that I'll link. It's quite expensive, it turns out, so I don't think I'll be getting them to do it again. And I also wanted to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the lovely comments everyone left on the tribute video I did to my late mum. Honestly, I cried reading some of the comments just because I could not believe how lovely the community is we've built up here. And yeah, I just have to say a huge thank you guys. Those comments meant the world to me. One of the biggest differences I've had owning a car like this is how much attention you get. I just had to pause my filming because a man was walking by and he asked me if he could take some pictures of it, and I of course said yes because I want to share this car with everyone. And then one day I had a knock on my door and I answered the door, and you won't believe this, there was 2 small children and they very politely said, "Excuse me, can you please start your car so we can hear the engine?" And I sort of was very busy at the time and I said, "Oh, I'm a bit busy guys." And then I saw his friend behind him go, "Oh, I told you this was a bad idea." And that was it then. I was like, "Oh, go on then." So I gave him a few revs and I think it made their day. It actually made my day. I was having quite a stressful day, and just to see something like this bring joy to children of that age, it just made me think of myself as a child, because that's what I would have done.
Then I discovered something adorable on my CCTV. Just listen to this.
Come here, this is the best view. In the back, it proves that it's an Aston Martin.
This was really cute. They went around the entire car and took photos of every angle. Then the next week we had another young visitor.
My husband said, do you want me to ask him to come out and turn it on? I know, it's fine, honestly. Sure? Nice car though. It's a very nice car, yeah.
Yeah.
You have fun riding in the front.
It goes so fast.
Come on. Only the speed limit though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Come on, in you go.
Good boy. I better tell Daddy. Oh.
Go on, sweetheart.
Oh, this
Good
is
boy.
I'm definitely going to tell Daddy.
Yeah.
Bless him, he knocked on the door, so I just had to pop out, give him a proper look at the car, and of course some exhaust revs. There's no audio here because the car was so loud it completely blew out on the speakers of my CCTV. Some people might get annoyed of people taking photos of their car, but these are just kids. And if I'm honest, I love the thought of it inspiring young people, and I'm going to do all I can to help make their day.
The thing with me is, you will never see me wearing luxury brands or high fashion labels. I don't love this car for the brand, I just love cars. I love the feeling you get when you sit in it, behind the wheel, when you accelerate and it pulls you behind the back of your seat. It's just, oh, I just love cars. So when you see me, I'll either be wearing a £3 Primark top or something I made myself. I remember on one of my older videos, someone made a comment asking me what designer brand my glasses were. Well, this is them, and they are £10 Boots Value Specials, and I love them. I've actually had these frames for 6 years. So what's it been like owning this car and properly driving it daily for over 4 months now? Guys, as you can probably imagine, it's been absolutely incredible. As you can hear there from the sound of that insane V8. And the power, oh, it really throws you to the back of your seat, this car. I'll admit, when I first got it, I was a little bit scared of it because we've got 500 horsepower all going to the rear wheels, where if you're familiar with my channel, we had the CLA45s, which is 4-wheel drive, so we never really had to worry about it. But this thing is just an absolute animal. I'll tell you though, after 4 months now, I have really started to bond with the car. I've got used to it. I know what to expect. I know when it's going to sort of loosen up at the back end, and I've got a bit more confident, and now I can do things like this. Whew. And I tell you guys, the rush you get when you put your foot down with all that power going to the rear is just, it's like nothing I've ever experienced in a car. I've also discovered too, oh, those downshifts. I've also discovered too, if you press this button here, you can put the steering and suspension in Sport Plus mode. And what that does is it completely changes the handling of the car. When you do that, the suspension gets nice and stiff. You can really feel the road, but the steering, it tightens up so much. Just going around that roundabout then, it pops it in Sport Plus. The car feels so planted. I've driven a lot of cars, and this is by far the best handling in that Sport Plus mode I've experienced in any car I've ever driven. Like, if you're going down a country lane, The car just goes exactly where you point it, and the steering has a lovely heavy feel. It's hard to explain. It's just unreal, and I love it. I mean, you can tell from how excited I am just driving and talking about this car. I'm just 4 months in, it still has the same effect. I'm just loving it. And then we have the paddles too, and if you haven't spotted them, they are huge. And you get the nicest downshifts I've ever heard. And they're mounted to the steering column as well, so you can always reach them. They're always in the same place, so if you go around a roundabout, they're just there. We'll do a little bit of manual mode now. Oh, it's so tasty. Oh, they just have such a lovely feel to them as well. They're fully mechanical. Let's just pull the window down. Oh, they're so lovely. I think the downshifts with the paddles is one of my favourite things about this car. Now, I tried to slip down to first a little bit early there, and the car did stop me. So if you are a little bit jumpy sometimes with the paddles, it does have a bit of safety in it. I was doing it for the video because I wanted to get a really loud, but we'll get one. So lovely, those downshifts. And I suppose we should probably touch on this as well. The car is actually quite comfortable if you're just on the motorway. We've just entered the dual carriageway now, so we're going to flip it into sport mode, which is actually, oh, hang on. Sport mode, which is actually basically comfort mode, and it's pretty chilled. It's comfortable, seats are great. You can just hang out back here. I've done some long journeys on it so far, and yeah, it's not really that much less comfortable than my Mercedes, to be honest with you. And then of course, if you get bored, you just pop it into track mode and you do this. And you get all of that V8. So guys, that is my first 4 months with my dream supercar. Was it worth it? I would say absolutely. I love this car and I've been enjoying it every day. For those of you who follow my channel, you might know that I grew up quite poor. It was just me and my brother, and we had a single mum, and she did the best she could, but we didn't have much money. So sometimes when I get in this car, I do feel a bit guilty. Like, I really should not own a car like this, but I've worked so hard to get here, and I'm gonna do my best to absolutely enjoy every second of it. So this is just the beginning. I'm going to work really hard and make some great videos with this car. I want to share my whole experience. I want you guys to see me enjoying it. I want you to see the ups and the downs, like the tyre. But yeah, stay tuned guys, and subscribe if you haven't already, because there's going to be lots and lots of content covering my ownership of my dream supercar. Thank you so much for watching guys. I'll see you next time.